United States strike on Syria would turn America's military into Al-Qaeda's Air Force, a reference to the fact that we know very little about these rebels that the United States would be helping. And for many, what we do know is concerning. The former Democratic Ohio Congressman Dennis Kucinich also says if President Obama goes around the Congress on Syria, he risks impeachment. Fox News contributor, former Congressman Dennis Kucinich, is live with us from Washington this afternoon. Impeachment, sir?
Well, the Constitution makes it very clear that the president has to come to Congress to get approval to go to war. Now, he's doing that. But we've seen some scuttlebutt that if Congress defeats the president's intention to go to war, that the White House might do it anyway. And what I've said is that would be a very clear case for a violation of the Constitution, which would put this president in danger of impeachment. I don't think the country needs that or wants to go through that, which is all the more reason why Congress should vote against going to war and send a clear message to the president that they are listening to the American people, overwhelmingly are rejecting going to war, entering into a civil war, creating the potential that this thing could spread throughout the region and engulf the region and bring in players from all over the world.
Well, let's talk about the specifics of your fears of spreading. This one scenario which the White House will not entertain, will not discuss, is if the weapons move from Syria to Hezbollah in the south of Lebanon and Hezbollah takes a strike of some kind at Israel, you've suggested we not only have a new scenario there, but potentially even more.
Well, we have to be concerned that as the tensions ratchet up in the region, the opportunities for miscalculation become much more possible, and Israel could pay the price. That's why this is a time for very careful consideration about diverting away from a war, about finding a way to use a relationship with Russia to get Syria to agree to get rid of its chemical weapons and to get all the players in the region to agree to do that and to put Syria on a path towards trying to reconcile the issues that gave rise to a civil war. We should be moving in that direction, and instead of ramping up this war talk, which actually in and of itself is a violation of the UN Charter.
How big are you concerned that a conflict might become?
Well, you start to look at historical antecedents. I mean, years ago I stood at the place where Archduke Ferdinand was assassinated in Sarajevo. And it doesn't take much to bring nations into conflict if all the precedents are already there. You have conflicts going on throughout the region that we would enter into potentially a war. And you have major players who stand behind the various contestants in a regional war. We cannot take the risk. This is about risk. Why would we risk a wider war? Why would we risk our military and their families? Why would we risk our national treasure? Why risk America itself? There's very little upside to this and a whole lot of downside. And if the world can't come together and find a way to deal with this issue of weapons of mass destruction without creating more destruction, then we've shown the argument against our capacity to evolve.
Help me lift the veil for a curious public. Who's pushing for this? What lobbyists in Washington are pushing this?
Well, you know, I would say that there's certainly war contractors who would benefit. You've seen some of those stocks start to go up. There was an article posted today which suggested that some of the members of the Senate who voted positively have been blessed in the past with a substantial amount of campaign contributions from people in that industry. There's certainly various ideological groups at work. You know, we have to put ideology aside. This is a call for common sense and seeing the world as it is. It's a complex place. There's a lot of bad people in the world. We can't be the policemen of the world. We can defend ourselves, and we have an absolute right to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
But we've got to be really careful here, Shepard, and that's why I've been writing about this. I posted something on Huffington about 10 reasons why we should. The claims have to be made. The administration hasn't made the case, and the president needs to do more. And we're past the point of talking. We're past the point of good speeches. They haven't made the case, and they should just stop it. The American people feel very strongly about this.
You've said this began with foot in mouth, and the rest has just gone to facilitate fixing that.
We can't have wars for vanity. We can't have wars that are based on misrepresentation. We've already gone through that. We've already been there. the American people aren't just war weary, they're war smart. They know what's going on. We have an educated public. That's why this whole idea about classified wars based on classified briefings, we don't need a classified sales pitch for war. Be upfront with the American people. The truth is there's not a real case here. Our country's interests aren't at stake. America is not under threat from Syria. Syria hasn't threatened the United States. We need to work with the world community and come to a resolution. We can't just say, well, China and Russia disagree with us. We have to work with China and Russia in coming to a point of all the security issues, of clarifying and resolving security issues.
I want to know who else is pushing this. Where is the Saudi prince on this matter with specifics, please?
Well, we need to have Congress and others take a look at His Excellency Prince Bandar, who has functioned as a Machiavellian figure behind the scenes, pushing and trying to promote intervention. Story is that he met with the Russians to try to get them involved in exchange to back off from their support for Syria in exchange for an oil deal. Look, this isn't about the United States' interests. There are shadowy interests behind the scenes who don't care about America. This is about, if we love our country, we have to recognize there's real danger here. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or Independent, whether you're liberal, conservative, doesn't matter. This is about what's right for America. And this war is not right for America. And the American people know it. They know it instinctively. They don't have to depend on phony experts or people who go behind closed doors and come out and say, oh, we got to go to war. No. American people know what's right. That's why, by and large, they reject this call for war. And I think they're going to keep rejecting it no matter what President Obama says on Tuesday night to the nation.
Former Democratic Congressman and Fox News contributor Dennis Kucinich. Sir, it's nice to talk to you. Thank you so much.